I have a chapter in the book called Freaks, Geeks, and Jihadis. With the internet now, and the internet, hey, great thing. Research, entertainment, great thing. But with the internet now, it's also opened a whole Pandora's box with the world of radical Islam. You have people now who would have never, ever discovered this dark world of radical Islam are now becoming plugged in, disaffected, lonely, disturbed, angry individuals, bitter, people who consider themselves failures in life. During the 1970s, 80s, they may have joined a cult. Before the internet, you may have seen them at Jonestown. Troubled souls looking for some kind of meaning. Angry souls, possibly with a proclivity towards violence. But now with the internet, you're seeing some unlikely folks drift into this world of radical Islam. I recount in the book the story of a 45-year-old white woman, a widow, a convert to Islam, discovered Islam online, converted, became radicalized. A 20-year-old honor student, right here, Howard University, a dental student, radicalized. A former Hispanic street gang member in North Jersey, found radical Islam, radicalized. Troubled souls looking for something. All of a sudden, they matter. They're part of this global movement. They're part of something big. All of a sudden, they feel like they've been let down their whole lives. The man has kept them down. They've been treated harshly by this country. Now, all of a sudden, they can not only make a difference, be a part of a global movement, a global ummah, as they call it, the Islamic family, but they can strike back against the country that's kept them down. This is what we're looking at. And the internet, there's only so much you can do. Chat rooms, social media, need to continue to monitor. That's where a lot of the recruiting goes on. And I recount in the book how a 5-man cell, right here in Alexandria, right in our backyard, met a Taliban recruiter on YouTube, of all places. The leader of this 5-man cell was a 20-year-old dental student, honors student at Howard University. I know we have to wrap up in a few minutes. We're short on time. One more thing that you need to know about the pervasiveness, the growing pervasiveness of this threat. It's not just, as I said, in New York, Chicago, LA, DC. It is seeping now, and you'd be shocked to learn this, in the heartland, in the South. I call it Southern inhospitality. You have the mega mosque phenomenon at Ground Zero. It's much broader than Ground Zero. Ground Zero is the tip of the iceberg. I've been on the ground in places like Murfreesboro, Tennessee, in the heart of the Bible Belt, where multi-million-dollar mosque structures are planned. Now, we have freedom of religion in this country. You're allowed to build a mosque. But when you ask the imams, where is the money coming from, number one, they can't tell you. Number two, you ask them if they recognize Israel's right to exist. They hem and they haw. You ask them if they condemn Hamas and Hezbollah as terrorist groups. There's some shrugging of the shoulders. You go inside, you look at the literature displayed at these mosques. It's from Saudi Arabia, or it's from Muslim Brotherhood-connected groups. I show in the book that credible estimates say that some 80% of all of the mosques in this country have Saudi funding behind them. Why is that a problem? Saudi Arabia is the epicenter of radical Islam. So that's what we're dealing with. There were 1,200 mosques in America on 9/11. Today, not even 10 years after 9/11, there are over 2,000 mosques in America. So the number of mosques in the last decade alone, since 9/11, has nearly doubled. I don't think that's a coincidence. And I've been in these mosques, I've interviewed the imams, I recount the conversations. There's a strategy here. And a group behind much of the strategy is the Muslim Brotherhood. Last thing I'll say, we get into Q&A. The Muslim Brotherhood, and you've heard a lot of them lately because of Egypt and what's going on there. And in a post-Hosni Mubarak world, they are the biggest beneficiary. And the Obama administration had to know that. They knew, yet they empowered the Muslim Brotherhood, and that's a problem because the Muslim Brotherhood is the granddaddy of them all when it comes to Islamic terrorist groups. There's a reason that Osama bin Laden, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, all of these gents belonged to the Muslim Brotherhood before they formed Al-Qaeda. Excuse me. And it wasn't because the Brotherhood's all warm and fuzzy about America. These are bad, bad guys. Al-Qaeda, the Muslim Brotherhood, they may differ in tactics. Al-Qaeda wants to kill you now, blow you up now. The Brotherhood's more patient. They'll do it through legal means. They'll do it through elections. They'll get in the educational system, the media. But the end game is the same. Sharia law, Sharia states, and the reestablishment of the Islamic Caliphate. What is the Caliphate? It's a global Islamic superstate. All of the world's Muslim nations united into one powerful bloc. Imagine that. 57, I believe? That could take on the West